Outside of the free speech zone, the protest zone on Dormasev and Wilson. Jordan will be right back. He's just getting more gear. As we see, police are telling people to get behind the barricades, or the press has to be over there across the street. So there are... first of all, smash the like button, share this live stream. Jordan's back here.
Hey, folks. Jordan with status Coup. Hold on, I just brought this. Prisoner hunger strike. It's day 12 of the ICE prison hunger strike at Delaney Hall. It's a little unclear what's going on right now, to be honest. They've pushed protesters all the way down, like half a mile away from Delaney Hall the last few nights. We saw them arrest protesters and journalists the other night, but now we're hearing that the protest curfew, which should have never been a thing, is being lifted, and they might be allowing protesters to go back closer to Delaney Hall, which is about a half block away from here. But we're also hearing that there's police down there in riot gear. So you don't know, are they trying to calm it down or start roughing you up again? I said I'll come down for a little bit because I'm not feeling great. My back is fucking killing me. But I'm hoping that they don't start with the, fascist Gestapo shit again, because I've had enough, to be honest. But right now you see about, smaller crowd, but about 30 to 50 people out here on the 12th day of the hunger strikes. We have this great sign. We request a redress of grievances by way of the First Amendment, abolish ICE, abolish prison slavery, Chinga la Migra, which has been a chant going on over there. Reminder, smash the like button, share this live stream. Nobody has been out here as much as us. We have been live every single day, 12 days of this, and we were live before the hunger strike. We were live a year ago. We were live out here in June of last year when hostages were released. Hostages escaped. They weren't released. 4 of them one night. John was live. We were actually out here 3 weeks ago, before the hunger strike, before the chaos, talking to loved ones of some of the prisoners. I just got off the phone before I got here. The conditions inside, contrary to Tom Homan, the border czar, who went in there over the weekend and claimed the food is great. He said the food is great. I had pasta with meatballs and sauce. It was delicious. Contrary to that bullshit, apparently I'm hearing some prisoners, I don't know how many, have some type of stomach bug going around, which happens when you have expired food. What do they say? All right. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to go behind the barricade because in America there is now free speech zones in addition to surveillance state fascism. So we'll go behind the barricades, talk to some people, but it is really kind of, the one hand doesn't know what the other one's doing out here. It's very bizarre, very strange. There was no announcement that I know of that the curfew was being lifted, but now the police are saying the curfew is being lifted. There was no announcement that they're going to be able to go back towards Delaney Hall, but some of them over there are saying they might be able to go back to Delaney Hall. What I do know is that the state police, after they fired flashbang grenades for several nights, including at us, after they tear gassed and pepper sprayed and pepper balled and rushed us with horses, which, God, we have got to make a GIF or something out of the horse coming at us, because that was traumatic. After all that, they have handed off the control of this to the Newark police. How's it going? Good to see you. Yep. So right now it's Newark police who don't really seem to know what the orders are or what their directive is. But let's show you what people are chanting. Smash the like button. Share this live stream to get it out to more people. Please support us. We need to grow. We need to keep signing up members. Do you see any other outlets still out here? You see CNN out here? MS Now? Certainly not Fox News. Other independent outlets? No. Here we go. People are out here. The so-called curfew wrapped about 10 minutes ago. It's unclear. It's unclear if people are going to be able to walk closer to Delaney Hall. I should tell you that some of the youngest prisoners have been released. So yesterday, an 18-year-old high schooler, a girl, was released. I'm told that about 3 or 4 more people were released that we think are young. I don't know the ages. That's been some of the demands of the organizers, to release the vulnerable, the sick, and the young. So it seems they're at least starting with releasing the young. Also hearing that, I told you earlier, because we were live for like 3 hours, they ransacked the mutual aid tent that was for families of loved ones. Donated diapers were in there, donated clothing, food for loved ones. They've basically torn that apart. They've also, even though Governor Mikey Sherrill, who's been under a lot of criticism here, she claimed that she struck a deal. She convinced Trump's Department of Homeland Security to restore full visitation for loved ones for families of loved ones inside. I'm told from some of the lead organizers that it is not the same visitation as before the hunger strike. Previously, loved ones were able to come in 4 days a week, 2 times for a half hour, 2 other times for an hour. I was just told before I came here, the visitation has been dramatically reduced now once a week for a half hour. And during the week, no longer on the weekends. So full visitation is not restored, contrary to what Mikey Sherrill has said.
We shut it down. We shut it down. We shut it down. Clap it up, y'all. I mean, that was 2 minutes.
Close the concentration camp!
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 Okay, close the concentration camp!
Close the concentration camp!
Okay, close the concentration camp! Close the concentration camp! Close the concentration camp! Okay, close! Okay, close!
Concentration camp!
Okay, close!
Concentration camp!
Close!
Concentration camp!
Close, close!
Concentration camp!
Okay, close!
Concentration camp!
Close, close! Close, close! That was me, my bad. My boy, time.
Smash the like button, share this live stream, comment, like, all those good things. I want to also tell you that before I came here, I spoke with some of the lead organizers. They told me that the governor, who, is suddenly getting positive praise for finally deciding to take legal action against the Geo Group. She announced a lawsuit today against Geo Group, which she could have sued them at any time for the clear crimes, the health violations, the environmental violations, the human rights abuses. But I'm told that the governor's office actually a few months ago, before all this happened, had cut off communications with a lot of the leading immigration rights groups in New Jersey, frankly, because she didn't like being pushed. She didn't like being pushed. I'm also told that the governor, before she basically sent in the SEAL Team 6 to rough up unarmed protesters, the grenades, the flashbang grenades, the tear gas, the rubber bullets, the pepper spray, the horseback, them rushing horses. I'm told that she literally consulted no one around her in her administration, her office. She just said, we need to have a military response to this. I was told that by two people that I trust before this. She basically acted unilaterally. I mean, she is the governor, so she has that right. But she did not consult anyone around her how to respond to this. I'm told she didn't speak with or consult the Attorney General or top law enforcement officials. She just decided we're going to send in highly militarized police to rough up protesters, essentially to try and end the protest. I mean, that's what this is really about. It has the effect of when you push people down the road away from the ICE prison. When you create curfew zones and all this, it essentially has the effect of trying to crush people's spirits, de-incentivize people from coming down here, and end the protest. I mean, that's basically what it is. I'm looking at signs, kick out ICE, Governor Cheryl, free the people, free them all. It's our right, our duty. We got Mikey Cheryl, you mishandled our constitutional right to peaceful protest. There's some talks about a recall against the governor. I don't know if that's real. Also, tomorrow night we're hearing that there's organizers now planning potential actions outside Newark Mayor Ras Baraka's home because they're fed up with him too. And they're fed up.
Maybe that's why he dropped the curfew. So maybe that's why he dropped the curfew.
That's why you got the big brain back there. So John was saying maybe that's why they dropped the protest curfew, so that they don't bum rush his house. Politicians are all self-interested because there was flyers going around essentially about a protest or a noise demonstration outside the mayor's house, the Newark mayor. So that's what's going on. I also want to tell you that on day 12, although it's not all the prisoners, there is still prisoners in each unit that are still abstaining from eating. They are part of the hunger strike still. Contrary to Tom Homan and that bullshit propaganda he said on Fox News, there is a hunger strike. It's been going on for 12 days. Obviously, you expect the numbers to drop because it's hard to abstain from eating. We probably get, if you're watching, you might get cranky a few hours. But there are still prisoners inside that are abstaining from eating. All right, let's see what's going on.
Unit that just went down, went to go make sure everything was in place. They're going to give the okay once they get down there. The ESU unit is the unit that gives the okay to open this up.
Will there be any restrictions down there?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
What does the ESU stand for? Okay, gotcha.
So they're going down to clear it.
So,
So
real
that's
quick,
what you're
when
saying.
we get over there and clear, they're going to give us some new directions so we're aware and that we don't
Absolutely.
get in the
Clear instructions. We're going to give you some here before you get down there.
No habla español. ¿Qué tú eres?
Lo que tú quieres que yo
No. ¿Qué tú eres?
Lo que tú quieres que yo
¿Cómo tú te sientes por eso?
So, no, it's not free will because they're going to tell you that you can't block the driveway. They're going to just give you some instructions as to what you can't block. But you'll be right in front. You just can't block for them coming in and out. That's all.
So essentially, from what it sounds like, there is some type of emergency response unit, whatever that means, emergency services that are going to shepherd in the protesters to in front of Delaney Hall. And as long as people don't try and block the entrance or exit, they'll be allowed to protest. I mean, Obviously, the point of this for most people is civil disobedience to block the exit of hostages, as I call them. So, you know, there was, when this started about 5 or 6 days ago, protesters were on the sidewalk, the public sidewalk. There was no issue, but ICE illegally declared the public sidewalk private property. Right. Say that again?
Sunday night, they immediately started pushing us right off because people were standing on the side, wanted to yell, you know, Nazi, whatever the case may be. They got offended. They couldn't take the words we were saying, and then that's when they started coming out and using excessive force.
And I think what's important, because people don't realize, before the chaos, protesters were on the public sidewalk, and there was no violence or issue. The ICE declared the public sidewalk private property and pushed everyone into the middle of oncoming traffic.
That's why they keep trying to say that the protesters escalated everything, that, you know, we're the ones that escalated. No, 100% it was ICE that escalated it, and then state troopers, when they got called in, even heightened it even more. So all these little things that they're putting all over mainstream media and these bullshit reporters that they're putting out, false. It's all crap. They're lying. They're literally lying in people's faces. People who've actually been here since Sunday, we can speak up and say that's not the case at all.
Do you think the goal of this, from the governor all the way down to the mayor, to move everybody back here a half mile away, to set these barriers, is basically to try and kill the protests?
It's to keep people from actually coming out to protest. That's why they're making it harder for people to get here, just all around. Because I've seen plenty of people saying, like, oh, I'm going to have to walk 30, 40 minutes to get there. I'm just going to stay home. So that's what it was. It was just completely to kill the momentum, just like you said. That's all it was about.
Which doesn't exactly sound like the governor or them are on the side of free speech,
no,
immigrants' rights.
Like I've been telling people for a while now, Nikki, she might as well just go get a blue MAGA hat and just start wearing a blue MAGA hat, because that's exactly what she is. She's blue MAGA.
What do you think of this lawsuit today? Because on one end, she's getting a lot of credit from like the media for suing Geo Group, but people out here, one person today at the protest outside the Attorney General's office, I think I'm quoting him, like, you could have done this a fucking year ago.
Exactly. She's doing this now that she's getting the bad attention. She's not getting the attention that she wants. You know, basically things are crumbling down on her from the people from New Jersey. Now she wants to basically try to save face. Now you want to do things last minute.
You know, a lot of the things the governor said before she sent in the state troopers kind of sounded to me like her main goal was to not allow New Jersey to become like Minneapolis, to not allow Trump to rush in, you know, double down, triple down here, to not like poke the bear, so to speak. And a lot of people feel like, all right, so...
She's the one that did it. She's the one that turned it into the escalation that we've been seeing all over the news. So her saying that, what's the right word I'm looking for? Hypocrisy at its finest. That's complete bullshit. She didn't want it to turn into something, and exactly what she approved and what she sent in these state troopers to do is exactly what made it into damn near that.
And I think it's important because a lot of people who watch this and other things sometimes feel like, this protesting is pointless. I think this protest has had a real effect. There's been young people that have been released in recent days. There was an 18-year-old girl released. Other young people under 21 have been released. ICE agents went in and asked prisoners to identify themselves if they're under 21, because that's been one of the organizers' demands. I'm hearing from lead organizers that district judges are hearing cases quicker. That's been one of the issues why people have been inside, languishing for months and months and months, because judges they're not getting seen before a judge quicker. So it does seem the lawsuit, even though I think it was too late, but it does seem that the attention on this and really the shaming of the governor and others is having an effect.
Oh, it's having a huge effect. It's having a huge effect, because the way I look at it, like I said, now that it's getting, I guess, more broadcasted around the whole United States right now, and she's getting bashed, her name is getting completely dragged through the mud, as she deserves to be. Like I said, now she wants to try to make, I guess, amends. Now she wants to try to, I guess, please the people that are out here, do things for the protesters, when you could have did this from the beginning. You could have completely avoided the whole escalation from the beginning. None of this stuff ever had to have happened. It's like they purposely escalated to that level, I feel like, in a tactic to bring it to national light.
I also don't. I mean, I don't expect much from the mainstream media. They're all propagandists, in my opinion. But I don't think people realize, like, they were shooting flashbang grenades right at people.
That fire that happened, that was in the middle of the street, They're responsible for that fire because of what they were shooting out. At the heat that shoots out, when it hit that barrier, that's what made it go on fire. That fire was originally started by the state troopers, not by the protesters. That's what, everything that they're spinning is complete bullshit. Even what they're saying about how they want the traffic, to be cleared out. Since Sunday, when everything first started, we were making sure we had at least 2-3 people that were directing traffic, literally yelling at the people, us, the protesters that were outside, pushed into the street, telling us, move out from the street, come into the sidewalk, come on, let's let the trucks go. At no point were we trying to block off traffic, stop people from going. Never happened. That's lies. It's lies on lies on lies just to make us look bad, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention because she's about to make this announcement. So get closer, everybody in the back, so you don't hear and there's no miscommunication. Come closer as one, come a little closer. All right.
Yeah, I know. I'm about to.
Okay, so we are about to open up. You have to stay on this side because the street is open over here for traffic. So we're keeping you on this side. You stay on this side, on the sidewalk. We are walking down with you. We need you, please, not to go into the street. Do not vandalize anything, kick anything, throw anything, do any of the things. So it's open. When you get down there, they're going to tell you the areas that you can go to so you don't block cars, traffic, or driveways, and the construction sites. So there's construction down there, so we have places that you can't block. But it is about to be open. You are welcome to go, and we are the peaceful protesters, and so we're going to allow you to exercise your rights. We just need you to keep it safe. They're not coming. We got you. They're not coming. It's us.
Are you honored you're allowed to?
Great, what privilege, right? Yeah. They have been really helpful and they have been really great, but that line was a little.
It is preferable to grenades and gas. I'd say, yeah.
Listen up, listen up, listen up, listen up, listen up. If you can hear me, put your fist in the air. If you can hear me, put your fist in the air. You can hear me? There we go. All right, fist down. We have to stay on this sidewalk, right? We have to stay right here. We're going to march and follow them. We have to stay right here on the sidewalk, and then we're going to make a left once you tell us over there.
Correction, 12 days in a row. Thank you very much. Just got to get you straight.
Right, we're gonna march with our fist
John,
down, right?
my cameraman's been living here, basically. It seems that they are, step in the right direction. There is no more curfew in America, so that's positive. They've lifted the curfew, and it seems they are allowing protesters back to Delaney Hall. I am cautiously optimistic. I'm not going to throw pom-poms yet, but at the very least, the Newark officials seem to be trying to work with the protesters. They have said as long as protesters, once they get to Delaney Hall, don't block ICE vehicles or transport vehicles. To be honest, I mean, that's part of the reason protesters were out there, was to perform civil disobedience, to try and block ICE transport vans from taking or re-abducting hostages, so to speak, because I consider them hostages. And the solution to that is very simple. If people come out here and they decide to, try to block the cars, block ICE transport vehicles, they are willingly, choosing to perform civil disobedience, and they're taking the risk that they might get arrested. And the answer to that is to deal with them. You either threaten them to stop, or you arrest them. It's not my preferred option. I don't think people should be arrested for that. But that is certainly better than allowing ICE agents to literally bum rush people into oncoming truck traffic or fire grenades. So, we'll see what happens when we get down there. It's about a half block from where we are right now. But I'm cautiously optimistic. This is definitely a better response than the state police coming in like fucking SEAL Team 6. And just so you know, I'm doing my best to keep up with John, but I'm kind of on one leg right now because my back is fucked up and I'm a little drugged up right now. So I got a little bit of a gimp. I was live for 3 hours earlier, and I'm not walking so terrific right now. So if it seems like we're slow to get to, well, John is there. He has the shot. But if I'm slow to get to John, that's why. So right now they're walking down the main road here. If you don't know, this is essentially an environmental dumping ground, this road. There is sewer and waste plants here. That, from what I'm learning, have all sorts of environmental regulations. Shocker. There is a meat processing plant and other industrial plants. So it stinks during the day, particularly when it's hot. It stinks outside, and I'm told it smells even worse inside. And there's ventilation issues inside. And the same day that the governor dispatched the police to essentially, declare war on unarmed protesters, ICE guards, Geo Group guards, the for-profit prison operator, beat the living shit out of prisoners inside. And I'm also told, we reported last week, the guards pepper sprayed prisoners or released pepper spray into the jail and then shut the ventilation. So that is straight up a form of gassing. So that's what happened. I believe that was on Friday. So folks are walking now. Smash the like button. Share this live stream. Please, please. Do you see any other outlets out here every single night, every single day, day 12? And by the way, it's not just John and I. Our small team has been working around the clock behind the camera. Jenny and Colin and Michelle, Ty. I mean, rushing out these clips, rapid fire, to make this inhumanity and this state violence and this ICE violence and this lawlessness, to make it go viral, as they say, to get it out on Instagram and TikTok and X and Facebook and all of them. So if you support actual living, breathing journalism, please support us now. Statuscoup.com/join. $5 a month. You can support us for as low as $5 a month. Totally understand if times are tough and you can't. But for those that have 16 cents a day, that's what it costs, folks. $5 a month. Statuscoup.com/join. And I will tell you, and this is not like to toot my horn, I'm just telling you factual information. I can't tell you how many protesters have come up to John and I thanking us, saying if you guys weren't live streaming the last few days, it would have been worse. Thanking John, saying if John didn't stand up to the cops the other night, who tried to get him to stop live streaming, which is illegal, by the way. He's a journalist. He has every right to cover this. He wouldn't back down, so a cop finally left him alone. We had journalists reach out to us thanking us, saying they would have arrested us if not for you, John. So there's a lot of people appreciating that we have been out here, that we've been standing up. And I want to be clear, we were out here before the hunger strike. So this is not like, oh, we just showed up because shit got crazy. No, we were here before shit got crazy, interviewing loved ones of hostages inside. So it's important to note that. All right, so we're getting closer here. It looks like they've put up concrete barriers.
We'll never be defeated. We shut it down. We shut it down. We shut it down. We shut it down. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets. Our streets.
Who shut it down?
We shut it down.
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 So what I'm looking at is, hold on. So what we're looking at here You see concrete barriers and a pretty thick line of police. So essentially they're allowing you closer to Delaney Hall, but you are met with essentially a roadblock of concrete barriers and a pretty significant police presence. So, you know, remains to be seen whether this will satisfy protesters or not, but essentially they're allowing protesters not really in front of the ICE prison, but kind of to the side of it, where they're blocked from going any further by police. I imagine that this will not be satisfactory to the protesters, but we'll see. And we also see police on the other side of the street too. So right now you have, looks like 20 or 25 police. It's Newark police. So the just to show you here. So obviously you can see the police. You can see the police here, but beyond where this police line is now, you see barriers, several barriers, and those kind of steel gates over there are where you can still see like the ICE military tank there. So that's where ICE agents were standing a few nights ago with their militarized weaponry, bum rushing protesters into the middle of this busy street. So now all of it has basically been blocked off. You see these big ass water tanks here, the kinds that you see like on the highway at an exit. So basically they're just have completely sealed off this entrance and exit of Delaney Hall. So what's interesting is right here where you see the tank, this is one area where Geo Group was taking the prisoners out and transporting them out, or re-abducting them, we should say. So that this area seems like it's been completely sealed off. So they must be redirecting the transport elsewhere because there's no way to transport here.
Repeat after me, right? Repeat after me, right? Repeat after me. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support each other.
We must love and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our change.
We have nothing to lose but our change.
Now say it like you mean it so they can hear you. They can hear you over there. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and support each other.
We must love and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our change.
We have nothing to lose but our change.
Love for all mankind, y'all.
Love for all mankind.
Talk about it, talk about it. Yeah. Let's go. We ready? We ready for it? Run again, run again, run again. Let's go, let's go. We're going right here with it, right? Right here with it. We're here, we did it, right? Flip this, so. Power to the people!
Power to the people!
Power to the people!
Power to the people!
I said power to the people!
Power to the people!
I said power to the people!
Power to the people!
Free them all!
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 And I want to remind you, because obviously this is a great moment for the protesters outside, but I want to remind you what's going on inside there. There is still quite a high number of prisoners inside that are on a hunger strike. Not all of them, but there are prisoners from each unit still day 12, almost day 13 at midnight that are still partaking in this hunger strike. All of the prisoners are still on a labor strike. That is why last week one of the prisoners had his nose broken because he refused to sweep because they're on a labor strike. And I'm told from loved ones who have been speaking with the prisoners that the guards are actually more pissed off about the labor strike than the hunger strike. They don't care if you starve. They do care if they have to do some work. So prisoners have refused to sweep, to work in the kitchen, the laundry, etc. And when when a prisoner refused to sweep last week, a guard literally broke his nose. But this morning I talked to an organizer who's very involved with kind of the medical problems of prisoners inside. And I want to read some of this to you because this is really about the hostages inside and the conditions they're struggling through. So there are several dire situations going in there. We have, and you hear them behind me chanting "Free them all," and I'll talk to people. You have a prisoner with a major colon issue. He's been in prison there for a year and requires surgery. He's had 2 blood transfusions. He's got severe anemia now inside, an enlarged prostate. He has to get surgery in a hospital. Geo Group is not sending him because they don't want to pay for hospitalization. A company that made $254 million last year doesn't want to pay for it. And it's become this game of hot potato because they tell ICE to pay for it, and ICE won't pay for the treatment for the hostages. There's another prisoner with a serious kidney issue. I'm not sure if it's kidney failure. I don't know. But I was just told kidney issue, needs hospital treatment. Geo Group will not allow it. Prisoners who are suffering from serious mental health issues, including hallucinations, suicidal ideations, wanting to commit suicide. They need mental health treatment. They won't release them even temporarily. Geo Group is refusing to send prisoners for long-term hospitalization or outside medical treatment if ICE doesn't pay for it. Because, of course, it's all about the money. All about the money. And the protests have put pressure on local judges to speed up their hearings, basically. Their hearings for their habeas corpus petitions. A lot of these prisoners have had habeas corpus petitions up before the court for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. They can't see a judge, so they're just languishing in here, essentially with no due process, kidnapped. So that's part of why I'm saying the protests are working, because judges are now speeding up hearing cases from those prisoners. State police have handed off to Newark police, which, as you can see, I think this is, at the moment, a better response to this. Also, I've told you about essentially the FBI and Homeland Security went in there and ransacked a mutual aid tent that a right-wing propagandist put out lies that it was some commie Antifa tent and that it had like thousands of dollars of food in there. Yeah, no, it had pizza. It had lasagna. It had coffee. It had donated diapers. Oh my God, the threat, the donated diapers. Oh my. It had donated clothing. And the FBI and HSI, you have to wonder, like, doesn't the FBI have like more serious things to deal with? Like, I don't know, the rising white supremacist terrorism in the country, the white nationalists, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, the 3%ers, Trump's whole cabinet. No, they're terrorizing a mutual aid tent. So they ransacked it. And I spoke with one of the lead organizers. By the way, the mutual aid tent is not involved with the protest. The mutual aid tent has been here since January. And the organizers had to fight for that tent. They were out here in the freezing cold during the winter without that protection of a tent for the weather. They had to fight to get the tent. They're not involved with the protest, but the organizers told me that it's really hard. It's really tough to even go in because it reeks of tear gas. Because Governor Sherrill's stormtroopers unleashed tear gas. Hey, can you get the Grateful Dead guy? I just had to get you on camera. I missed you earlier. You've been here all day. You got the Fuck Ice shirt, the drums. Homemade. Tell me your response to this. I mean, it's better than grenades and gas.
I just said it earlier. They didn't get rid of the free speech zone. They just reinforced it with stronger material. Because if you saw earlier, like if those of you who can't see, they got this thing all the way down the road. And so they're still opening up opportunity for ICE to bring people out or come back in. And the state police are facing us and not ICE, and they're protecting this essentially. So I feel like it was, what's the phrase? Like, it's a win, but it's still a defeat. It's like we won. We didn't win this battle, but we're still fighting in the war, so to speak.
It basically just kind of penned you into a quote-unquote free speech zone.
Yeah.
And
penned us in with concrete too. Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, this area here seems blocked off for ICE
It does.
can't come out here, but they can come out the other
Right.
entrance.
And they've come out other entrances as well. I mean, I believe they snuck the hunger strike in Martin out, right? They snuck them out the back. They have ways to get out here. I wouldn't be surprised if they had like secret ways out of this place. So
To me, and this is just speculation. I'm just
allegedly.
I don't know, but it just seems to me like the governor, through the things she has said, really seems to not want to poke the bear when it comes to Trump.
It really feels
She's talked about like, I don't want to give the president a quote pretext to escalate in New Jersey, basically to make New Jersey Minneapolis. So this kind of seems to me like, I don't know if it's the governor or the mayor, but making a deal with DHS. All right, we'll make this thing Fort Knox here. Protesters won't be able to get anywhere near or block. And you let out some young people, and you let out some of the sick. Do you think there's kind of a deal kind of here?
I mean, the stench of bribery is reeking the air right now. There had to be some handshakes. We were talking about it early before the curfew broke. There must have been some talk behind closed doors, the room where it happens, and it's like it stinks to high heaven. But you can tell that there was a compromise, but it's at the cost of our freedom, essentially. I still am flabbergasted, and for those watching the live stream, it's like the whole road should be ours. This should belong to us, the public and the people. But this entire road is split in half. It's always been split in half since they set up the free speech amendment zone on the street. And I feel like these concrete barriers that are right here, they should be there, like against ICE, not against us. And we should have the street.
And also, obviously, this is about what's going on inside.
It is.
I'm told that people are really sick with kidney issues, colon issues, mental health issues. I was told about some type of stomach bug going around, which kind of makes sense if you're being fed maggots. Contrary to what the governor claimed, she claimed that she convinced DHS to restore full visitation. They've actually reduced visitation down to once a week for 30 minutes for loved ones. And if you've ever been in a hospital or prison or whatever, your main source of fuel is that visitation of your loved ones. So it just seems to me like whether it's people outside or the people inside.
All fronts, right? It's happening on all fronts. The suppression and the not just of our rights here as public citizens, but the rights of the hostages, because they are hostages in there, inside. And you would expect, the prison incarceration system is fucked either way. But you would expect them, and I think it's in their policies, right? They are supposed to treat the prisoners humanely, and they're supposed to, at least get them help when they need it. If they need medical help, they should get it. So what we're seeing is, they're not ignoring it. They're just flat out intentionally not doing it. And this all feels very intentional. And it feels like we're experiencing a bookend of fascism, essentially. It's on all fronts here.
I'd like to ask, I don't want to make this about politics because it's about the prisoners, but I do think this should be asked. We're now in June, so July, about 5 months before what a lot of people think is the most important midterm election ever. And I just feel like, people could do whatever they want, but I do feel like a lot of people who are ready and even to vote for Democrats that they kind of have to hold their nose for to vote for this week are a little disenchanted and might be thinking twice about voting, period. What are your thoughts?
Well, so for context, I'm a resident of New York City, so I'm not a resident of New Jersey. But my thoughts are that Cheryl, she's finished. I think her career's pretty much done by this point, or at least if it's not done, it's completely tarnished by her actions this last week. Especially not just to us here, but especially to those inside. I mean, and we all saw she just showed up for a quick second and then left. Didn't even stick around for the mayor. I don't think she stuck around for the mayor's press conference either. I mean, what more evidence do you need that you don't want to face accountability for what you did than this? And not to mention to you guys at Status Coup for standing up to the freedom of the press, because I think of all the offenses, pile on the offenses, but to suppress you guys to threaten arrest, to say you can only do coverage in certain areas, like, take her to court. Like, that's a clear.
I'm talking to the ACLU, and I don't know what's bigger, these drums or John Farina's big balls back there.
We'll see who booms the loudest, definitely. But yeah, to tell you, my thoughts on it are, like, obviously the Democratic Party, at least here in New Jersey and elsewhere, are failing us. And I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm neither of them, because I don't want to be a part of either party. And it saddens me coming from a family who's voted Democrat, and I can't. After this, I think anyone should really think about it. Really do some introspection about what it means to vote Democrat in this state with someone like Cheryl running this thing. And yeah, so
what's your name again?
Name's RJ.
Thank you, RJ.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Smash the like button. Share this live stream so we can get it out. The more people that press the like button, the more people that comment. Super chats are really appreciated. And most importantly, again, 12 days. You know how expensive it is to be out here 12 days? Our bill is going to be through the roof just for broadcasting. I know I sound like a broken record, but we are way over our data plan. Just to broadcast, we're on a data plan for the live view. That's our unit. So please, if you can, support us. Statuscoup.com/join. Really, every night, our goal is to be adding at least 50 to 100 paid members. That's how we grow. That's how we hire more people. That's how we stay out here. Not just here. Remember, this is not just happening in Newark, New Jersey at Delaney Hall. This kind of horrific torture is going on at ICE camps all around the country. We saw it. We were down there at Alligator Alcatraz in Florida. We've been down there at the Broadview camp in Chicago. We've been there at Whipple, which in Minneapolis, which the media doesn't tell you, is literally standing on the shadows of a Native American concentration camp. They put the Whipple building that they're abducting people in Minneapolis. And we just spoke with somebody from Minneapolis today who's here. ICE has not left Minneapolis. It might not be as wild west as it was, but they're still there. They're still abducting people. It's still bad. So right now it's kind of status quo. You see the police there, some type of sheriff out there. Let's see if we can speak with more. Is that the guy from the Black Panthers? Okay. But it's pretty calm, relatively. Let me see if I can speak with some more people out here. Can I interview you? I saw you were kind of leading things. Status quo.
Sure.
Come on up. So I saw you were speaking with, the local police, etc., trying to figure out what was going on. Tell me about, they've allowed folks back, so that's a good thing. It's obviously more guarded out. But what do you think in terms of kind of the response to protesters tonight?
A little bit much better. We're just kind of waiting for the rest of the demands that we asked for the people. So we're just kind of waiting to hear from the real higher-ups out there. They're kind of sending middle people in the middle, and we kind of don't feel safe with those decisions. So it's kind of like our duty to make sure that the people are safe and follow to the best extent, because at the end of the day, right, we don't want nobody getting hurt out here.
And can you tell folks about those demands? Because I think we're already starting to see it. It seems some of the demands, I don't want to say fully being met, but we've heard some of the younger people have been released. That was one of the organizers' demands, for the sickest inside to be released. There was like an 18-year-old girl released. They have minors in there. Tell us some of your demands.
Man, K.
So obviously we far from that goal, right? Folks want this place eventually closed without transfers. They want folks released, right? Hunger strikers don't want better conditions. That's like a reform approach. We want them released, right? And in order for that to happen we need elected officials to be on a mandate, to be in full defense of those that are directly impacted, to be in full defense of hearing the cries and seeing pain, trauma, and suffering of those that are hurting and suffering the most, which in this case are the hunger strikers. They went on a hunger strike and underway the hunger strike initially to get the public attention into what is happening inside there. With the state-sanctioned violence that we have been met with out here, it's nothing compared to what has gone on out here. We have cameras out here. There's no cameras in there. They are literally suffering. They are being tortured, living in inhumane, anti-black, rooted in white supremacist conditions that must end.
And I think it's important because a lot of people don't realize this, and I found this out today. There were guards inside a couple days ago when things were really chaotic out here, guards telling prisoners inside, tell the protesters to stop and things will get better in here. And the prisoners inside said, no, we're not going to tell. So not only are they going on a hunger strike, but they, I don't want to say chose, but they absorbed getting beaten.
I'm going to correct that for you. They resist back, because as long as injustice remains law, resistance is duty. And resistance, a part of their freedom, is paramount, because all liberation is through our collective liberation. Nobody's free unless we're all free, right? But what is happening here is just a preventable, easy way to stop it, right? It's having a government that should be working for the people. It should be working for those that are hurting and suffering the most, right? I want to just piggyback off of the state-sanctioned violence again. Many people out here have all been peaceful. The violence have not been incited from this side. It has been incited from the state. The state is solely responsible for everything that people have endured, including myself, including so many others. But like I said, we'll take that rubber bullet or that mace, that pepper spray anytime, because we know that they are still living under more horrible, deplorable conditions. We have siblings inside that are being told to drink piss. We have siblings inside that are still on a lockdown in Unit 2B because they have been resisting back with power, trying to, grant themselves their collective freedom.
And I'm told by some of the organizers who have been in touch with prisoners, there's people with serious kidney issues. They won't let them. They won't let them go to a hospital.
Denied legal services, that are being denied access to attorneys, that are being denied visitation still from their families. Not everybody is still granted visitations. There's still a lot of spouses out here that haven't seen their loved ones. A lot of parents that haven't seen their kids. And that's still something that has been nothing but crickets and word salad from this governor.
I'd like to bring the elephant in the room, which is the money. Geo Group needs butts in the beds to make money. They made $254 million in profit. Right. So, they don't want to send prisoners to the hospital. They don't want to release them because they have $1 billion contract, and you need prisoners inside to keep the vendor contracts, etc., to keep charging. I was talking to a wife who's paying nearly $200 a week to put money into the phone line to call her loved one. Think about that. They take your husband, and then you got to pay nearly $200 while the economy is such hell. So it just seems like, not just this, the prison system in this country in general, it just seems like a really...
Human beings. That is also slavery in action. Profiting off of human beings, profiting off of the backs of black and brown people. That goes back to the same era of the slave trade, right? That's white supremacy in action.
Two things, right? Shut down Delaney Hall. And number two, you believe in the First Amendment?
Yeah.
You know how it feels that we've been right here and those rights were violated literally the whole entire 10 days. So we're here for the people. The people united will never be defeated. And it's sad that we have to deal with these things, that our rights have been violated, but we still out here for the people.
And I also wonder what you think the last few days that the state kind of moved people down there, which obviously has the effect of less people coming out. It just seems to me like the governor was trying to kill the protest. I don't know what other way to say it.
Absolutely. She has authorized fatalities to occur. Everybody could have been murdered out here, and I have blood, that's on her hands. My brother has blood, that's on her hands. My brother has... Right? All of our blood is on her hands because she has authorized one of the most racist agencies that are leading the state, which is the same state agency, like the same state police who was chasing down Sister Asada Shakur, who was trying to gun her down. The same agency like that who have killed Maurice Gordon and Amir Johnson on the state parkway and the state turnpike. And she has no plan to remedy that. She's aided and abetting to that lynching that is occurring. But what they did was just nothing but anti-blackness and inhumane acts.
And my last question for you. I feel like we're in the twilight zone sometimes because the president, he's backing down now, but I don't trust it. He's been trying to push nearly $2 billion to give to January 6 convicts who rushed reparations, while keeping people in here who literally were going to their immigration judge hearing.
I'm glad you touched up on that because it is a syndrome in this country that is called the complexion for the protection for the connection. And that syndrome is alive and well. That is what he's doing, and what all of these politicians are doing is striving so hard to get this country to be back what our ancestors have fought for, which was inclusion, which was black love, which was, us to be able to thrive and to be ourselves, to get here to this day. Nothing we gain come without a fight, and anything that we're up against, we're always going to be up against a fight. But that is a syndrome, and it's called the complexion for the protection for the connection. They want this to be the land of the whites, and we're not going to let that happen, because black is beautiful, and we got the sauce.
One more question. It really stands out to me. I mean, you got this military tank out here. God knows how much that costs. All the militarized police, not just with ICE, the city police, all the weaponry, like
Health services, housing, room and shelter, board. I mean, you name it.
all this money that could be going to help people.
Our people. Yeah. So you know it. You said it yourself, right? All that could go to our people, and look what's happening. But again, that's what we're here for. Thank you, brother. How was the people?
Appreciate it. What's your name?
K-Son, what's your name?
K-Son. Jordan.
Nice to meet you, Miguel.
Miguel, thank you. Smash the like button, share this live stream. I mean, you wonder why you never hear these folks on CNN. You hear dumb shit pundits who don't know shit about shit. When you have really intelligent, articulate, passionate, authentic people who have been through it out on the streets. And that's kind of why Status Coup launched in the first place, because I was really fucking tired of hearing pundits tell us what the American people are going through when they're all millionaires and don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Can I bring you on? So, get the tank, since he's got the 6 terms. So, for those that have been watching, this is Ian Austin, 6-term combat vet, Afghanistan. I mean, this might as well be a seventh tour. I don't want to be too dramatic, but
Or 8th. I thought Minnesota was 7th. Maybe.
You were arrested in Minneapolis for the crime of protesting in a church, which is still insane. But just tell us, because you've been out here now for like 5-6 days. Do you still have that mark there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this happened to him the other night, if you could zoom in on that.
One of six rounds that hit me. They also threw 3 flashbangs at me. And, I have a friend that died from a flashbang. They were throwing things that could have killed me at me.
I want to bring that up. If my douchebag brother is watching, because my brother told me earlier, flashbangs, there's nothing in it. It's not pleasant.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, tell him there's nothing in it. And yes, you can die from a flashbang. Because I don't think people realize that it's really miraculous nobody died here the last 5-6 days.
Absolutely. It's shocking that nobody died. When they were pushing people into oncoming 18-wheeler traffic, I just got chills all over my body. It was just shocking. It was absolutely dangerous out here. But then the state police came in and they didn't make it any safer, So it was and that was their whole directive. It was kind of laughable.
Yeah. And you also, for those that don't know, were arrested and kept in a cell for hours for the crime of asking cops about the roadblocks. Others were arrested. I spoke with Chuck Modi earlier. He was in a Newark cell for 26 hours for nothing. 40 or 50 protesters were arrested, and the things they told me about that prison there. Listen, prison's not pleasant wherever it is, but
I heard it was higher. I heard it was like 60 or 70.
Yeah, 60 or 70.
Wrong, yeah.
And that's just not really the way to handle things, in my opinion. If you want to create a curfew, you create a curfew, but unless people are being violent, which I was there, I didn't see any violence. Throwing people in jail, you're kind of just playing into the hand of ICE.
And that was the whole pretext from the governor and the attorney general, right? They were putting out false statements about that we were throwing gas at them, that we were shooting fireworks at them, that we were initiating these engagements, and we weren't. It was the feds. It was the state police. And then they come out there and just lie to the people. How are they any better than the frickin' MAGA Republican politicians out there just lying to our faces if they're going to come out there and just make stuff up as a pretext to brutalize the people? That's crazy.
And right now you see some type of vehicle, I don't know, it's probably Geo Group or ICE, and they've basically sealed this off so that you can't get anywhere near this.
What we were doing out here before is we were trying to slow down their operations, and people were linking arm in arm to block the vehicles from getting out. So what they've done here is they've created First Amendment zones with concrete barriers so that the vehicles can go in and out, and the people are not allowed to, try and inhibit ICE's operations.
So
right? Just like Broadview, just like
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
And just so I know, if this is the First Amendment zone, what's over here? Like China? Well, you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder the zones. What's over there? It's just dystopian weirdness. Obviously, I've been talking to organizers. Some of the young people have been released. That's a good thing. I mean,
Wasn't all of them.
no, not all of them. No, some of them. I've also been hearing that there's some movement on getting some of the sickest people out of there. So I think a lot of people, and you've seen it, I'm sure you've felt it, sometimes you just like, we're all humans, you're like, what? These protests aren't doing anything, right? Yeah. I think these protests have had a real effect already.
You know, I was having a moment over there on my live earlier of like, are you going to say protests don't do anything? You know, like that's crazy. And, you know, a big thing that we were talking about earlier is like when they were pushing us back, the people inside couldn't hear us, you know, and we came here to support in solidarity with the people inside. And at least now they can hear us, you know, like I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Like a week ago when I was here and they were flashing the lights inside, you know, like, hey, we're here with you. Like, thank you for supporting us. Like, that's emotional, you know, like we have a connection with them. And so that was really hard to be over there and know we're yelling and screaming, but they can't hear us. So that's powerful to be back here, you know. I'm like anxiously awaiting some light flashes from inside.
And I'd love your thoughts too. You know, I think it's striking that the media, when shit was crazy, literally a lot of journalists were sitting in their cars. And now that shit's a little less crazy, I'm looking for you, CNN. I'm looking for you, MS Now, Fox, New York Times. It just seems like if shit's on fire, they're here in their cars.
And it can feed into their narrative because they're not really telling the real stories of what's happening here. And so it's just like, oh, we can get footage of chaos and like sort of mislead the people about what's really happening. Like, it's been overwhelmingly peaceful out here. You know, you had, I think it's Jess Craven that do a video the other night of talking to a woman, and it's like, she's like, yeah, it was overwhelmingly peaceful. I had video of what was happening 10 minutes before the police attacked us, you know, but then the mainstream media is out here and you just see clips of things and it's like, oh, look, violence and chaos in the streets. And it's like, it's just people protesting and we're not the ones creating the violence and the chaos, you know?
And, you know, something I think is really disgusting. The FBI and Homeland Security raided the mutual aid tent. They just ransacked the thing. It wasn't even involved with the protest.
It wasn't even part of this. It was just for the families of people coming to visit. That's crazy. They're coming from out of state. Another thing is earlier today, the Geo Group was allowing visitors, and there were people down when this blockade was still up, and there were families coming from out of state to visit. And the police, the communication was so poor that the police weren't letting the families in, even though they were allowed to be here. And thankfully, somebody reasonably talked to one of the cops for long enough and got them to go up the chain and find out, oh, they actually are allowed through. And then they escorted the families in. But 4 families had already come to visit their loved ones and had already left because there was no communication between the different departments enforcing this chaos.
You know, I think something important to bring up. By the way, folks, smash the like button, share the live stream, comment, support us if you can. Statuscoup.com/join. I will beg if I have to keep us out here. You know, you served in the military. You know the military-industrial complex. You know, I think a lot of people don't realize that these Democratic governors are providing a lot of lip service. Oh yeah. Because I learned the other day that 15 minutes before the state troopers stormed the gates down here and started just declaring war on protesters, one of the lead organizers got a call from the state attorney general's office saying, hey, just so you know, don't be alarmed, but state police are going to come here because ICE has a shift change. So they were clearly coordinating with ICE. I mean, as the state police were they fired flashbangs right at our feet. I fell backwards. Tear gassing, pepper balls, pepper spray. ICE was in sniper position up there, and the state knew about it.
Yeah,
so
if it was you that was talking to me about that. I was talking about that to somebody the other night of like, oh, that's interesting. That happened right at the moment when there was a shift change, and it was like, why was that necessary? You know, like
this is part of why, at least in New York, maybe here too, the few progressives that exist in office have been pushing laws, total no collaboration whatsoever. But it just seems like...
Well, even Mikey Sherrill was pushing laws about that shit. I don't remember what exactly it was, but somebody was broadcasting that the other day of like, here's these things she's talking about, and then the actions she's taken are directly opposed to that, you know? And it's like frickin' Tim Walz, you know, a lot of lip service, but then caved right in and sent his police in to protect ICE. You know, again, they can say as much as they want till they're long in the tooth that they're here to protect us, but they're not. They're here to protect ICE.
You know, I'd like your thoughts. I mean, obviously, the reasons you served, you probably did not realize serving that this is what was behind the curtain. But do you feel kind of, it just seems like a lot of people I'm talking to kind of, they're either explicitly saying it or kind of saying it, like, we need a goddamn revolution in this country. Between hostage taking, the surveillance state, the data center imperialism, joblessness, inflation just seems to be permanent. And you basically have oligarchs saying, yeah, we're just going to have a new social contract, you know? Yeah, people might lose jobs, but it's for the greater good. I just feel like, yes, it's about ICE and the immigrants, but this is all kind of connecting with a lot of other injustices.
100%. You know, I mean, it's like, I mean, just from like disciplinary, that's even not the right word, or like legal of like, you know, what these concentration camps that are being built and the things that they've said in Project 2025, like dissenters are next, you know, and, you know, it's also, it is like, as you're saying, it's tied into the billionaires, it's tied into the politics and how the money is allowed into politics, and the people are increasingly losing their voice to where it's like, does voting even matter? You know, especially if we're having these sort of limp noodle Democratic governors that aren't going to, you know, actually stand for anything. If they're just going to cave every time when MAGA or fascism asks them to, then what do they really stand for? You know, so people, it seems to me like the country is standing around waiting for an election, and it's like, this election's not going to save us. Even if we won the election, this regime has been openly talking about how they're going to retain power. So, like, why should we expect that they're just going to hand over power when they've taken total power, when they're so scared about losing the elections? And they've shown multiple times that they're willing to overthrow an election, they're willing to steal an election, and they're willing to do it by force. And now they have total power, and we're supposed to believe that, oh, they're just going to hand it over? So it's like, election, I don't know that that's going to, if we elected in radicals, actually, excuse me, what they call radicals, which is really just people on the left, and but the line has been shifting so much to where the what is the left is now called the middle, and if you're called a radical if you're just like asking for human rights.
Well, I don't hear a lot of the media talking about the fact that Donald Trump's basically building a bunker under that ballroom.
Right.
There's like military equipment, and it's like he's building a mini data center under the bunker, under the ballroom.
Every data point that we get suggests they don't have no intention of relinquishing power, but then we're supposed to just stand around and wait for an election. You know, that's been actually, I was pretty depressed for the last 2 months before I was coming back here, because it's like, boy, I don't think that people are ready to do what's necessary. You know, people have to be willing to risk something, and it just seems like people are more intent on the comfort of their daily lives and maintaining that than they are maintaining the fundamentals that allow us to be free. You know, we're actively losing our freedom, and it seems like people are like, well, you know, like, as long as it doesn't affect me that much. It's like, it's going to.
I also think there's important things to point out. You know, let's call a spade a spade. Trump is a unique evil, and I would like to remove him and his sycophants. But I also think we should point out that, I mean, under Democrats, Obama deported more immigrants than any president before him. I just learned this the other day, but under the Biden administration, the ICE prison down the road 15 minutes away, the Elizabeth ICE prison, the contract was up, and the Biden administration stepped in to keep that open.
It's like, it's as if the Democrats want the corporations to have the power and the Republicans want the billionaires to have the power. Either way, the people lose.
You got white supremacist fascism or corporate fascism.
Right, exactly.
You know, I know there's people in the chat. All right, Jordan, but we got to get rid of Trump. Okay, I'm not saying don't get rid of Trump, but it matters who you get rid of him with. I mean, I don't know. My wife doesn't really allow me these days, but when I have Coke, I don't want Diet Coke. I want the real thing. So you don't want MAGA Light. Right. You would just go to MAGA if you have the option. And I just think, you know, let me tell you, the last few nights out on this street, and I see on social media what the state police did here. If you ask people who they dislike more, Mikey Sherrill or Donald Trump, the answer was Mikey Sherrill. Yeah. I mean, they dislike both, but you get my point. So I just think this was not, their response to this was not at all to de-escalate it. And I think that at the end of the day, you know, there's two things can be attached at the hip. the right thing and the smart politically thing. If Mikey Sherrill would have stood up to Donald Trump,
Right.
if she would have come out here and the other politicians stood with the protesters and said, no, you're not going to throw my people into traffic, which would have gotten a ton of media attention, by the way, you're going to inspire people to vote for you, too.
Right.
And
No, I mean, she's a one-term mayor, you know, like, or governor.
One-term.
Yeah, you know, like, that's, you can't do shit like that and have the people stay behind you. I mean, I have no doubt that she will not be winning the re-election.
my last question for you, you're a veteran. Like, what's your message to other veterans? Because we see there's veterans, you know, Jolly Good Ginger and a couple others that are very influential on Instagram. We see more veterans getting involved, developing kind of audiences, this and that. But what's your message to other veterans? Because obviously, you know, PTSD and addiction, and you got your own things to deal with. But, I mean, at this point, I remember Standing Rock. I don't know who else.
Yeah. I mean, I started protesting in 2020, and, you know, I mean, pretty quickly I had people starting coming up to me like, oh, hey, like, you're an important demographic, you know, like, we need you out here. And, like, you know, I wasn't necessarily, like, vocal when I started protesting, you know, but more and more you realize it's like, oh, like, I kind of feel like I have a responsibility, you know, to be speaking out. And I mean, to me, it just is as simple. I feel like maybe I've said this to you guys before, but if I swore this oath and I actually meant it, and I see it being flagrantly violated, how can I not stand up and say something? Like, either I was lying then about the oath that I took, or I'm lying now about what I actually stand for. So, I mean, to me, it's about integrity. And I'm so grateful. You know, so many veterans have reached out. I mean, I had 2 people come up to me tonight and say, hey, I'm here because of you. I saw the videos of you on the internet, and I'm here. And thank you for doing that. And I'm like, wow, thank you for showing up. You know, like, I don't want the attention. I don't want to be out here protesting. I was saying to them, actually to you the other night, like, I don't want to be talking about how girls were raped at Delaney Hall. I don't want to be talking about this. But, like, we need to be out here. We need to be doing these things. And, it, you know, if we were willing to die for that nation, for the things that at least we thought it stood for, that maybe we've never actually lived up for. Well, if we actually want this nation to be what it's always said it's going to be but has never been, then we have to stand up as a people and resist that. And the you know, I don't think it's healthy, the relationship that we have, as how much we like idolize the military. I really think that's unhealthy for our entire society, but it does give you a little bit of cachet in speaking in these situations, and people do sort of hear some things in a different way. That's the way how I'm able to get under the ICE agents and the cops' skin a lot of times, and that's why they're, you know, targeting me with all these rounds, is because it's like I actually do have some ground to stand on. And
no, I saw when you were scolding them a couple nights ago, I saw some of the ICE agents definitely were thinking about their life choices. I'll put it that way.
Stand up behind me and hit me with the pepper spray, you know.
My last question can't go without asking. We have George Floyd on your shirt. Please, I can't breathe. Tell me about, you know, I know what the shirt stands for, but do you feel there's a connection to that and what we're seeing here?
Oh, it's all connected, right? I mean, it's state-sanctioned violence, right? It's been happening to black people in this country for over 400 years. You know, there's a guy standing actually right over there in the green helmet. And last night he was arrested, and he was saying, or was it 2 nights ago? I don't remember. One of these nights, saying that exact thing to them. This has been happening to us for 400 years. This has been happening to us for 400 years. And, you know, now it's more so brown Americans, not black, being taken, but it's the same thing. It's okay, so prison industrial complex, we've had, slavery isn't over. We've had slavery in prisons, and we still have. You know, I work with Chantel Allen in Minnesota for End Slavery in Minnesota movement. This is slavery too. It's just for immigrants, you know, but it's just a different name, a different dressing for the same thing, which is privatized prisons that actually function as slavery.
Thanks, Ben.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it as always. Ian Austin, been out here every day, and he's got the marks to prove it. So as you can see, it's obviously, I mean, it's obviously calmer than it was. It's preferable than protesters being pushed into moving trucks, but it's also obviously, you know, they've basically packed protesters into a little pen, which is not what free speech is about. So you could call it a win that there's less violence, but this is not, you know, uninhabited, full-fledged free speech in America. They're stopping people from performing civil disobedience. So this is not acceptable, in my opinion, to what the goal of this was. If I can, Minneapolis, I want to bring you back on. People might have not seen. We had a stream earlier. People might not have seen it, so I wanted to bring you back on. Emily, right? Yeah. So you came from Minneapolis. You were kind of one of those brave people in Minneapolis that were with the whistles and in the kind of chats, trying to basically do the job of politicians and police. So alert your neighbors if ICE was coming, protect each other. As there was a full-on federal invasion of Minneapolis, ICE fucked with you there, Border Patrol, and you guys are still, I mean, you told me earlier, they're still there. It might be a little less Wild Wild West, but they're still abducting people. It's just a little bit more polished, I guess you could say. But we were talking earlier, and you told me being out here, it's like bringing you back to what happened there a couple months ago.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's hard not to relate the two. Obviously, there are differences. One of them that I keep telling people is that in Minneapolis, we were and still are trying to prevent people from ending up at places like this, whereas now we are standing in front of a place where hundreds of people are currently detained under inhumane conditions, and they are on hunger strike and labor strike still, so we are out here in solidarity with them. This is not necessarily an anti-ICE protest, although it is. It is a solidarity protest with the people inside that building, and we are trying to amplify their demands, which are hard to remember off the top of my head. I have a horrible memory. I'm sorry, but it's freeing the. They want a meeting.
They want a meeting immediately with Governor Sherrill. They want the vulnerable and the sickest, which are a lot, released. The young people released. I mean, they want it shut down. They want to be freed. Yeah.
Of course, but. Yeah, they have some specific demands, like, freeing the elderly and the sick and meeting with the governor, all of those things. But ultimately, the goal needs to be for all of us to end these places, because this is absolutely a fascist state, and it's just going to continue growing. This is what they want to see all over the country. This isn't just something that's going to happen here. They have a lot more of these planned, and we're paying 10 times, as taxpayers, we're paying 10 times the asking price on a lot of them to make.
Let me give you the exact number. There's been reports that they want to buy 800 warehouses for ICE warehouses, which, by the way, there's not enough undocumented immigrants in the country to fill 800 warehouses. Like, what are you going to make Amazon packages out of hostages? So they're not going to stop with immigrants. If they get 800 warehouses, they're going to come for the environmental protesters and Antifa and.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we saw how they came for the Righteous 39 that we had in Minnesota. You just had Ian Austin on. He's one of them. They were arrested protesting. Did you know that? Yeah, okay. I was
at the church.
I'm pretty sure you know who he was, but
he was the one where the media only cared about Don Lemon, but there was a whole lot of other people.
Yeah. I mean, Nikema Levy-Armstrong, Monique Colors-Doty, Will the woke farmer, who they actually put his name in the indictment. All of this is insanity. They came for
the woke farmer actually just had a 3-day trial in D.C. for calling Trump supporters Nazis in front of the White House. We're putting people on trial in America for calling Trump supporters Nazis.
Yeah, so I mean, the Righteous 39 were already persecuted for that. They're still being persecuted for that. We're seeing it with the people in the Prairie Land case, how they're actually in jail over it. One person for distributing zines, right? So this is absolute insanity. I talked to someone the other day who told me that they have already gotten a visit from the FBI because of, or maybe it was Homeland Security, from the feds. They got a visit from the feds over a Facebook post. Just saying that this is wrong and we need to abolish ICE.
I think we did a video last week, was it? That woman in Texas that got arrested for posting on social media something against the data centers. I mean, this is beyond 1984 or what Orwell warned about this. This is some Hunger Games level shit going on in America, and now they're trying to call the people against data centers tech terrorists. I mean, yeah. Scary times.
It's absolutely scary times. And I mean, there's a lot of personal risk involved in doing these kinds of things. And I just want to remind specifically the white people watching that when you are helping do these things, when you're patrolling your neighborhood looking for ICE, when you're distributing mutual aid, even that we've had ICE agents target and tell them that they're impeding for just delivering food. When you're doing these things, you are raising your risk level, but you're only raising it to the risk level of the people you're trying to protect. And these people are already suffering under these conditions. And so we need to be willing to raise our risk levels to meet our neighbors, because that's what solidarity is. It's being willing to put yourself at risk for your neighbor, and at least the same amount of risk they're already in, because we can't let them target people and sit things out because we feel like we're in danger. And that's something that unfortunately is something that keeps coming up in leftist movements, is people don't want, they want to be for something, their hearts are for something. When it comes to actually taking the action, they are too scared to do it. But you have to remember that the people that we're fighting for are already living in fear, the same fear that you are afraid of feeling. And so please recognize that in your heart and come out to support them in whatever way you are able to. I'm not saying you have to be the one at the front of the protest screaming in a bullhorn. I'll do it for you. But and there are me's all over, but maybe you know how to enter data. Maybe you know how to recognize patterns. Maybe you are able to put together flyers or media. Do what you can for the movement, and don't worry about what the consequences are for you, because if you've criticized the regime at all, you're already on their list.
My last question for you, and I think this is so fucking important, and honestly, it makes me want to fucking scream. All this bullshit and hysteria about the Somali fraud in Minneapolis and those goddamn fraudsters in Somalia. Let me tell you, you want to know about fraud? Look in here. This is such a scam, what's going on in here. It makes the dime a dozen fraud that goes on in America all over the country, and particularly at the White House. This company, Geo Group, made $254 million last year of profit, okay? They are $254 million, and they're serving worms in food.
Literally.
They're serving green sausage patties.
Not that they can't afford it, it's that they don't view these people as human beings.
And they won't send the people who have kidney failure in there, or colon disease, or a loved one told me their husband walked in with type 2 diabetes. A month later, he's got type 1 in there. His blood sugar is dropping rapidly. They won't send him to the hospital because they don't want to pay. Even worse, they're making loved ones, working class loved ones, the breadwinners of their family, are locked up in here, so they're struggling. They're making some of these women, these spouses, pay nearly $200 a week to put into the commissary so that they could get on the phone with their loved one. That's not fraud? I mean, to me, this is
having clean water so that they have to buy water that doesn't make them sick in a place that they're forced to be. That's fraud. We could keep going. The hunger strikers not being allowed to buy other food when they're refusing the food that they're being served, that's fraud too. You're forcing them into one kind of way and not allowing them to do any of that. And you are defrauding them of all of these different things that with taxpayer money, because you can afford to feed them better meals. You can afford to meet their demands. And if you choose not to as a company, there is no reason to take away the ability to buy other food other than just cruelty. And then on the Minnesota fraud, we ended up seeing, we knew all along, but the woman that ran it, the white woman that ran it, was just convicted. And people don't want to talk about that. They want to point to all the Somali people and say it's them. And you know what? I'm not saying that there is no fraud in the Somali community. There's always fraud in every community. We're people. We're all human beings. You can't judge an entire race of people based on what a few people are doing.
I'm going to go with what's the bigger fraud, in the Somali community or Donald Trump's son getting a $600 million Pentagon loan that he's not going to pay back, or Donald Trump, his net worth going to $6.5 billion because of his crypto scams, or Donald Trump doing weird, corrupt, pay-for-play pardons, pardoning every convicted fraudster. So, yeah, maybe there's some people who cut some corners or did some fraud in the Somali community. Guess what? A lot of fraud in the white community, the black community, the brown community.
Exactly.
And people, by the way, commit fraud because you got to hustle in this fucked up country. There's a lot of people who may bend the law because they're struggling. You know, if you're starving and your family can't eat, you might shoplift.
And immigrants come in struggling so much against, you know, first of all, just all of these prejudices, often a language barrier and a lot of other things. And then we don't make anything easy for them at all. They're shut out of a lot of communities for whatever reason. Lies are made up about them. And so, yeah, exactly. It is a struggle, and people have to survive however they have to survive. If you saw the government taking the money that it's spending on these detention centers, on data centers that don't create jobs or do anything for the people but take their water, and actually turning it around and spending it on services for people, you wouldn't see the levels of fraud that we see across any community. If people had housing and health care and food and water and all of the things that human beings need to survive, which this country absolutely has the money to provide for its people, you wouldn't see the things that we're seeing. This is all created by the systems that exist, and we need to recognize that.
And tell me, lastly, tell people what the situation is now in Minneapolis, because it's totally fallen out of the media. What is ICE doing there? How are people doing? I would expect mental health has taken a real hit after 2 months of that terrorism.
Mental health has. People are crashing. We need more people who have taken their mental health breaks to return to the movement, because, yes, exactly, ICE is still out there. While we were marching to Delaney Hall, I was sent files that I'm going to post later that are supposed to go out to the public of the current abductor vehicles, because we still have people who are from public places where we are allowed to take pictures, recording ICE vehicles, watching their plates, and making sure that we know where they are. And we want the community to know what vehicles to look for, because they don't keep us safe. We keep us safe.
Thank you, Emily. I really appreciate it. She's here from Minneapolis, so she ain't fucking around. She's doing the damn thing. Smash the like button. Share this live stream. I'm going to do 1 or 2 more interviews before we wrap. Please, please. What is actual living, breathing journalism worth to you? CNN's not here, folks. MS, whatever it is not here. Fox News, I promise you, is not here. Okay? New York Times, Washington Post, they're too busy farting out Trump's tweets. Okay? We're here. We've been here. We were in Los Angeles when Trump invaded with the National Guard. We were there for 2 weeks. We've been in New York City at the federal courthouse. In Jersey. We've been at Delaney Hall long before the hunger strike. We were down in Florida, Alligator Alcatraz, that concentration camp where they're putting prisoners out literally into the scorching hot heat, handcuffed to the ground with no water for hours, what they called the box. Okay? We were in Charlotte, where John was illegally threatened with arrest by Border Patrol. JT and John were in Chicago for 2 months. 2 months. We were in Minneapolis for 2 months before Renee Good was assassinated, before Alex Pretty was assassinated, okay? And we do this with no funding from Geo Group, from no funding from United Healthcare and Goldman Sachs and the Living Koch brother and all the rest of them. And it's hard to do this without real money, folks, trust me. Most of our conversations are about how long are we going to be able to keep the lights on. It's very frustrating. And it's very frustrating when you're out here doing real, we think, real important work, and you see other channels that do bullshit and hot takes and reactionary nonsense, and they go viral. It's not that we're jealous. I don't give a fuck what other people do. But these are the stories that matter, and we have big tech platforms that deliberately suppress them. So please support us. Statuscoup.com/join. Can I talk to you, man? So this is,
doing a lot of moving over there.
oh yeah, Newark Police. Chairman Africa from the Black Panther Party, and I want people to know these ICE people, they weren't so brave a few months ago when you were in the street. They had caused a car crash right around school.
Yes.
Very dangerous.
Yes.
And you basically said, it wouldn't be so tough when I bring my guns.
Exactly.
Tell people about, because ICE has been escalating here even before this.
Yes, but they're all around the country escalating. They're everywhere. But the incident you were just talking about a few months ago, when there was snowing, there was a snowstorm, there was still snow on the ground, and they were chasing somebody on the streets early in the morning, about 8 o'clock in the morning. Everybody was going to school. So they crashed into a car with a mother and 2 kids in the back on their way to school. So everybody started coming out. So we walked out like, what's going on? What's going on? So somebody said it's ICE. So the entire community just swarmed around them. I mean, like, they couldn't do nothing. They couldn't do nothing. It wasn't that many of them. And the community was there, like, really ready to get physical with them. And that's the only thing that they're afraid of. They're not afraid of nothing else. The only thing they're afraid of is the people. When the people are ready to stand up and they see that the people have had enough, they're going to back up. And that's why this is so important. I don't mean to segue away, but the reason I've been texting Jordan. I've been texting him for a few days now, trying to catch up with him, because I wanted to say something to him. I'm about to shoot you a free commercial. I'm about to shoot him a free commercial. Hey, look, when you start working for the people, serving the people, you make enemies with everybody. You make enemies with the police. You make enemies with the politicians. You make enemies with the media that needs to be in close proximity with the state, with the people in power, so they all isolate you. When you see people like Jordan, when you see a media outlet like this, because I don't know no other anywhere out here. I don't know any other media out here that's going into these communities and is reporting on this and putting in this much time and effort. Without that outlet for us to be able to get our message out, nothing will ever be solved. If these people didn't come out here and we're out here protesting and demanding accountability, the people that they let out, they would have never let out. If you was never here, like you said something, because I've been watching from home, and you said something earlier. You said, or somebody else said that somebody could have got hurt. You're surprised that somebody didn't die. That night, Cam Higby's security, they had guns on them. When they were throwing them bottles on them, what was stopping them from pulling out and just popping somebody? They would have been justified. They would have walked. Yo, somebody threw a bottle at his head. Yo, I was surprised. So if you watch it, if you out there, yo, I congratulate you for being so disciplined and not being a savage and just taking a life because you can. Because I got into it with them earlier, and it was that close. Yo, because if you go back and watch the video, because you got it on your stuff, you recorded it. If you go and watch the video, go on Status Coup and go watch Cam Higby running and is secure with his guards. Yo, he grabbed his gun. He got up on it. They threw a ball in his face. He grabbed his gun. He was about to shoot. Then everything would have been different. Everybody would have been singing a different tune. Like, look, because you reported, Ras Baraka is coming out and singing a different tune. Look at the police. Look how they're standing there now. But first, they were getting ready to say the people were rowdy, the people were violent, but your video was out there. Yep. So they couldn't contradict that. They couldn't contradict what everybody is singing. Yo, he went on Ali Veshi, the mayor. He went on Ali Veshi the next day. Ali Veshi didn't want to hear that shit. Ali Veshi was like, look, man, I'm corporate media. I'm a big-time corporate media, and your police kicked me out of there. I've seen it for myself. I'm not up here to hear it. After that, everything started crumbling. They had to change up their story. Why they couldn't have did this before?
And by the way, my John told me there was a flyer going around that there was going to be a protest outside Baraka's house tomorrow, and all of a sudden they end the curfew tonight.
They end the curfew.
So the pressure is working.
No, the pressure does work, and that's why they brought the police out. They brought all that force. Yo, we seen them. Yo, and I'm telling you, if you don't win an award for what you captured out here, then I already think it's bullshit anyway. I think all these awards is trash. They're owned by corporations. So if they give you an award, I may not trust you no more. But
they're not giving us an award.
No, but that's what you win an award for. That's because if that stuff is not on video, everything else that happened after that wouldn't have happened. They would still be on TV lying. Because like people say Democrats and Republicans are different. You saw You saw the Republican, you saw the Democrats on TV after it happened, lying, saying that the people were violent. That's why they had to come in and bring order. Like, wow, we saw it on video. And it started going around social media. Everybody started seeing it. Yo, I was working for you. I was taking pictures, and I put it on my story, and then I put your what you call it? What the hell they call it? Your link. Yeah, I put your link on it, so they'll click on it and go straight to the show. Cause what you are doing is a service that, yo, whatever $5 you're telling people to send in, yo, no amount of money is worth what you're doing. Now, why is that all important?
And I want to point something out, and this isn't to like brag about us, but I don't think people realize. For several nights, while ICE was pushing people into oncoming traffic, which people could die, there's 18-wheel trucks coming, we saw other journalists sitting in their cars. Yes. They literally were sitting in their cars while the people were under attack, and then came out. I literally saw the CNN reporter sitting in his car while all this is happening, and then he comes out to do a report on CNN and pretend that he was just out here covering the whole thing. It's crazy.
Thank you for reminding me. What is his name? Oh my
Shimon something.
No, there's somebody on WBAI. He's an older white guy, Bob Henley, on WBAI. That's supposed to be the progressive station in our area. Yo, he went on Amy Goodman and said that he tried to separate the protesters from the people that have the tents. And he was saying the protesters that came out started to act rowdy, and that's why the police had to come out. But these are the people that support the people in power. When we're dealing with issues in the community, we have no voice because they use the media outlets to protect these people. I want to say something before I leave, because that's why I really wanted to come see you. Yo, everybody's wondering, what do we do? Everybody's thinking like, do we give up? If you're not going to read, because I can tell you the books to read and they're going to tell you what to do. You could read Frantz Fanon, Wretched of the Earth. You could read George Jackson. You could read Huey P. Newton, Fred Hampton. You could read Malcolm X. They're going to tell you what we must do is organize. We must organize as people to be able to build institutions that's going to protect us. Yo, we all saw what the state would do. It doesn't matter if it's a Democrat or Republican. We saw what they are willing to do to us. These people are about to go to war. They're about to start bombing each other. Yo, AI is coming. What are we prepared to do to take care of us? Yo, the government, we see the government doesn't care about us. Yo, we have no rights. The people, the masses of the people, not the 1%, the people that are living day to day trying to survive. We, not black people, the people have no power. These politicians are bound to respect. They don't respect us at all. And until we start to come together, to organize together, we can defeat them. How do we do that? Today when I was looking for you, we was delivering food. We going around we have meetings. Yo, 90% of activism is meetings. Coming together, sitting down, talking. You could be on Zoom. You could be in California. You could be anywhere. Sitting down, strategically figuring out how we're going to pull our resources. It can be done. We can build schools. We have after-school programs right here in Newark. Yo, I have no money. I don't work for the government. I don't have no plantation owner. But we're out here giving the resources. Yo, we do housing. We do childcare because all the people are coming together to do it. We all have jobs. We're all working on the plantation. But we understand we have to build institutions outside the plantation to survive. Because these schools, yo, you know what grade level the schools are teaching reading? Yo, 2% reading, 4% math. Where is that child going? This is the failure they've had since I was a kid. And next year, they're going to fail. No matter who you vote for in November, no matter who you vote for the last election, the schools are still going to fail. Rent is not coming down. Gas is not coming down. Food is not coming down. Everything is constantly going up. And no politician, I need somebody to name one. Put it in the group chat. Name a politician that's telling you, when I get into office, I'm bringing your rent down. I'm bringing your mortgage down. I'm bringing the cost of food down. They don't even promise shit no more. They just say, hire me. I'm better than the other guy. They become millionaires. We lose our homes. Yo, we paying $2,500 for rent in the hood. I'm going to say that again, bro. We paying $2,500 for rent in the hood. That's a mortgage. But the way they got the deck fixed, we can't afford to get a house. Right. So now we're stuck paying these people money. Yo, everything we're dealing with is punitive. From City Hall, from the school board, because people say like local elections, do local politics. Yo, from the school board down, is controlled by the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. They have their people there to sign off on the contracts they want to get to corporations. Yo, I've been doing this for 20 years. I worked at City Hall. I worked for the mayor. I understand how all of this works. And once my eyes were open, I couldn't do it no more. I mean, but most people, they got to pay bills, so they're like, yo, this ought to lie. You can't talk to these people. And it's a lot of them here. Everybody in these green jackets, most of these people you see here work for the mayor. Yo, when I was walking up, they were calling like, yeah, Africa's walking in. What the fuck you calling for? What the fuck is Africa coming to do? I mean, I'm here with my daughter. What the fuck, like, but why are you calling? Yo, they came to my house with machine guns because the tow truck companies are towing people cars, and we outside like, no, you won't tow the car. This is how punitive it is getting. They're towing people cars and they're charging them $300 for them to put your car back down. What the that and it's illegal. There's paperwork that's saying what they, but there's nobody holding them accountable. Like if you wasn't, I'm gonna go back again. If you wasn't here, there was gonna be nobody. There was gonna be nothing anybody to do to hold them accountable for what they did out here, because they committed crimes. They broke the law out here. And if we have a First Amendment right to assemble for free speech, how can you put a curfew to that? So all of it makes absolutely no sense. But if there's nobody recording, if there are not people out there fighting, if they, hey, yo, come here, bro, come here. I've been watching you too on here. I've been watching you the whole time. I mean, I like to shake your hand for being out here, man. But if they're not people like him, good people that's willing to come out and fight, then like we're lost. Because I used to think to myself, yo, how long are people going to go before they understood that they don't need to be ruled by these people with all this money? How long people gonna, because I'm thinking like, okay, the 18, 19, 1700s, 1600s, 2000, we're in 2026. Then now they talk about AI. So now AI is about to get rid of human beings. They're about to remove us. They don't need us to work no more. So human beings are never going to raise up. We're never going to fight back against the machine. We're going to just stay until we're replaced. That is sad. And I have dedicated my life to refusing to be one of those people. That's why we build these organizations and build these institutions. I'm telling you, yo, I want to be part of status quo. I want to buy stock. You're laughing. But every organizer, every revolutionary, that's what we are supposed to do. We're supposed to buy stock in it. Yo, the first night I saw you on here, I text you. You need anything? You fucking ignore me. I'm going to bring you food. My wife made oxtails. Now you're laughing. Like when you come.
I didn't ignore you, promise.
No. You was working, goddammit. You was fucking ducking bullets and shit. No, but it's like when you come in these communities.
I was actually ducking a horse too.
Exactly.
A horse.
Yeah, the horse just hit me. I seen this shit. It's like when you come in these communities, yo, I'm telling everybody, there should be places for them to stay. This is when we're talking about a revolution. If you want to change everything, wherever they go next, it should be a place to stay. There should be people bringing them food. I mean, all of this show the people in power that we have power, but we don't have that kind of connection yet, and we need to start building that. And I'm telling you, everybody laughed. Yo, we are willing to invest in what you're doing because we believe in what you're doing.
You know, I'd like to know what you thought, because I've already said, we've already seen that people could mass mobilize in America. There were millions of people in 2020 after George Floyd was basically lynched on video. Millions of people all around the country protested. I always said, imagine if even like 1/10 of those people organized economically.
Exactly.
And not just with their boots on the ground, but took actions against the capitalist state. I feel like people don't realize the power they have because people, the capitalist state, have made you really, really scared to go on strike, to organize, to lose your health care.
What did those people hold on?
Something with that is that the system, we exist in a system where so many people can't strike without starving. And so, you know, I've done a lot of thinking about this because it's like, okay, yeah, what can we do that actually is effective? And the only thing is hitting them financially. Yep. But how do we organize communities enough to where we actually can go on strike enough for it to make a difference? And it's not just, a few people that have the money to do it, but actually, hey, this whole community, when we've set up this whole system where we're sharing resources and we actually can go on strike for a month, 2 months, that's the kind of organization it really takes if we really want to change something.
Those people that were all out there, I'm coming back to what you just said, but those people that were, I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, no, those people were in George Floyd. What were they organized to do? Because, like, I'm an activist. You out here, you do this film, you do this new stuff. I can't do what you do. But I've been to all the rallies. I've been to organizing for the last 20 years. those people are organized by people like those people in the green jackets. Non-profits that work for the government. They bring all those people out to all No King rally, all this goofy shit that has nothing to do with nothing. And they use their energy, they funnel it. They tell them the only solution is going to vote for somebody. So they funnel that energy to get in the George Floyd bill or whatever, and then all of that is for nothing because a few years later you done forgot, I done forgot, the bill didn't pass, and everybody keep on going. So how do you organize all those people? You got to have media like this. You got to have media like this pushing the propaganda that's going to reach them. Because they know, most people know, like voting ain't 8. People don't vote no more. 2% of the people came out and voted in the school election in Newark. 5% voted for the mayor. 5% out of 350,000 people. 5% of the people came out to vote. That's a no contest. Like no what? No contest. No contest. No something. Like they don't believe in the government shit. No some shit.
No confidence.
No confidence. That shit. Yeah, but no confidence. It's a no confidence vote. People, but there's no other option. Nobody's explaining to them, like you just said, putting all this stuff together. Start where you live at. I live in Newark, New Jersey. We have after-school programs. We have summer programs. We have food programs. But it's just us doing it. Another group. You doing it where you at. All of us linking together. This shit ain't gonna happen overnight. They've been, these motherfuckers been doing this for like since 1 BC. The powerful, those in power been in power since the beginning of time. Even when you go to Africa, everybody think they was in Africa, they were kings. You wasn't a freaking king. You was a peasant. Like they had the kings in Africa too, and they had everybody else that was poor. It's always been like Karl Marx said. It's a struggle. What you call it? The struggle. I'm forgetting that.
Class struggle.
Class struggle. It's all the class struggle. The history of the world is that of class struggle. That's what Marx said. And it's always class. So if we do this, we start to work together, we can start to gradually change things. Like we can build our own schools. Once we accept, like, their schools are not going to teach us anything. We need to build our own schools, and we start to put that foundation together. Then you can start to change things. But if you don't build those institutions, you don't have nothing to fall back on, people won't have memory. In a few months, everybody going to forget what happened here because there ain't no institution to remind them. There ain't no movies. There ain't no propaganda outlets like this to keep people in tune, to remember you, to remember that you was out here. Like in other times, they got all the martyrs, the people that are out there to protest. But if we don't start to write these books, we don't have platforms like this to come speak at, none of that mean anything. Because they're going to write their books. They're going to they're going to get Ali Veshi to tell the story of what happened here.
When are you running for office?
You say what?
When are you running for office?
Why would I?
Never.
No, you would vote for me. But if I went in there, there's nothing I could do for you.
Good point.
Because everything is owned by corporations. I'm going to go in there, I got to do what they tell me. Like, look around, there's no residential area. They said that people were complaining because of all the noise and stuff out here, all the complaints. There's nobody living here. So who was complaining? The corporations. Yeah. No, the corporations. The corporations and the businesses were complaining, and that's why they came down here with that force. They didn't come because of the people. They don't give a damn about the people. I mean, but until we start to organize and work like this, we are not changing nothing. Like people who come over here and talk all that whatever, like, what is it? What's his name that came here? Tall dude. He got all his followers. He came down here. I asked him, so what do we do to, Hassan Piker. Hassan Piker came. So I asked him, Hassan, because everybody was following him. I don't know that motherfucker. This is my first time seeing him. I never seen him on the streets doing anything. I never seen him doing this. So I'm like, yo, Hassan, so what do we do to change all of this? He said, just keep protesting. I'm like, how long we protest for? Until the people that you're protesting against change their mind. I'm like, get your dumb ass out of here. I told them to get out of here. They thinking I'm MAGA, I belong to MAGA. They're like, because I don't like him. But that's how the world is. Everybody's like, they're so socially conditioned to think a certain way. But he don't know anything. He's talking about he's a democratic socialist. That don't even make sense. How can you be a Democrat and a socialist? Like, it's contradictory shit. But people don't know nothing, so they just follow it. That's why the first duty of a revolutionary is to be educated. You have to understand what the issues are. And we are in a class struggle. That's what Fred Hampton said. We're in a class struggle, God damn it. I mean, you're going to hear people sounding nationalists, black nationalists, white nationalists. Yo, we are in a class fucking struggle. And in a few years, maybe 15, 20 years, all these people, middle management jobs, you're going to lose all your jobs. They don't need all of us. It may be too late to struggle then, to build the institutions.
And then the people turn on each other to fight for the scraps.
Instead of building, instead of building the institutions now so we could be able to fight these savages, because they're sociopaths. There is no negotiating. I read it in C.L.R. James. He wrote about the Haitian Revolution. He said if we don't understand that these people will never keep an oath, keep a promise, that it's us against them, wretched of the earth. Fanon said the last must be first and the first must be last. There's no negotiating with these people. There's no going to go pull a ballot. Like, they got their shit rigged. Everything is rigged. How are you going to run an election if I don't have money? I can't run. How the fuck is that free? If, like, who the fuck told me? Somebody told me that Geo Group is a public company, Ali Velchi. I'm like, who the fuck you think you're talking to? If it's public, I should own some of that shit. I don't own none of Geo Group. It's not a public. I'm like, if you're not a billionaire, millionaire, you don't own none of this shit. All of us are out here fighting for scraps. You see, but he's used to talking to people that are not politically educated. And 99% of the people are not. Even all these people that you see with the green jackets, these people working with the city, these police officers, they're not politically educated. They're just doing this shit because they got rent.
And I'll tell you, it's this cycle because the capitalist state, they target poor black people, white people, brown people to serve in the military, to serve in the police, and now to serve with ICE.
Exactly. And they paid them good. Yo, we've been having all this program. See, yo,
take care, man.
You gonna be here again? Yo, mama, take his number, please. What up? But damn, what was I about to say? What was I about to say?
I don't know what you were about to say. Something profound.
Well, before I go anyway, there's something they've been saying in the media. All the politicians always say it everywhere you go. I want you to remember this shit, so when they say you could fire back at them. They said it's outsiders coming in to protest. So if there's something going on in New York, I can't go protest? No, I'm saying how far? It's my jurisdiction for me to go protest and stand with the people. Is it my zip code? Is it my town, my state? What is the limits in America for me to protest? None of that shit make any sense at all. So like, how you gonna tell me if somebody gets shot in Montclair, New Jersey, I shouldn't go out to Montclair to go protest with the people? So you gonna call me an outsider? Yo, it makes no sense.
Why does it matter if people from out of state come?
But they say these things because they know they're catchy. The people that are already against what's going on are gonna hold on to it because there's a political fight going on in the city right now. Like, people may wonder, like, how come the city all black people not out here? Yo, they're telling the black people in the city, the people in position of power, are telling them their problem is because of the immigrants. The reason why their rent is going up, the reason why the food is going up, the reason why there are no jobs is because of immigrants. And these people have no political education. They don't understand, even if all the immigrants left, your life is not getting better. I mean,
by the way, that's the Democrats pretending that they want to shut this place down.
Those are the Democrats pretending they want to shut this place down. That's how nefarious it is. That's how diabolical it is. Like, you think these people are on your side, but there's a Home Depot in Newark. They go there with dogs. Yo, they have black people with dogs chasing the immigrants around. The black immigrants, the Spanish immigrants. I saw a Spanish person last year with the dog. He's chasing other Spanish people. And I looked at him. I'm like, bruh, do you see what you're doing? He was like, it's just my job. That's all they say, it's just my job. Because capitalism has taken our humanity away. Because without that job, he can't have a woman. He can't be a father. He can't pay his rent. So to him, the only thing he could do is go brutalize other people, even dumb. They got to go do all of this for them to pay rent. That's how far they have us. It's like cannibalism. They have us eating each other. And the only thing we can do is start to organize and have meetings. Yo, don't be afraid, because most people don't have a vision. They can't see it. You see, to me, I can see the revolution. I can see it. I can see wherever you go, people have a place for you to stay. I can see everybody joining in to make sure that you're successful. I can see people having political education classes, coming together, pulling their resources together to start to buy buildings and stuff, because they know if they live with somebody, they're going to sell that building and make them homeless later. I can see people doing that. I can see people building their own schools, because I've read, I've studied, and I've seen this shit being done. Who defeated imperialism? Mao. Chairman Mao defeated imperialism. I know they make you think Mao, oh my God, but read Mao. He's going to tell you, if you want to change society, go to where the poorest people are at, in the sand paddies, the people growing the rice paddies. Go to the rice paddies and educate them and teach them how to liberate themselves, and they will liberate themselves. Yo, you can read these people and understand how you got to build all these schools, institutions. But if you don't study them, if you don't study the people that have defeated your enemy, then you can't defeat your enemy. All you're going to do is going to go spinning around. And I don't want nobody to get hurt. But like fighting against the police, against them, or against like running into the building, that's going to do nothing. I mean, until we start, like, yo, if we have places, if we have buildings and resources for the people that they're trying to bring here, they wouldn't have nobody to bring here. But we haven't done that yet in the city. We haven't put those things in place. Until you're able to do that, you're not stopping them from bringing them. They got more guns. They have our children, because we raising our children and we lying to them. Yeah, go be a cop. Go be a politician. Yo, you going to the police academy? Yo, you graduating, everybody's celebrating our own demise, until we get to the point where we understand, like, Tommy, you're not going to the police academy. You're going to be an engineer. You're going to be an electrician. You're going to do something that's going to benefit people, benefit us, instead of going over there to go get a paycheck to oppress people. But we are not there. And if we don't start building those institutions, we are never going to get there. I mean, and like, I wanted to come out here to say all of that because it is important. And I'm going to say it again. Everybody listening, please, please, yo, donate. The $5, whatever. Yo, we haven't gotten it yet, but tomorrow the paycheck coming in, we going to get our little subscription and stuff. Like, we put our money where our mouth is. So tomorrow when the little paycheck come in, we going to get I mean, because, yo, we support the work they do. Even the other fellas that were out here, the tall dude, my man that was behind the camera telling them, fuck you. Yo, all of you that are behind the scenes, you are as valuable as anybody in history. Because if you don't record it, if you're not here, we don't get it. And I saw your back was fucked up. I'm going to tell you, take some leave. When my back be hitting me, I be taking some leave. Like, you out here, I saw you bending down. I mean, like, that's what it takes. You got to be selfless. You got to love the people that much. That's what Che Guevara said. Love. I mean, it got to be love. You got to love the people that much to come out here and do these things. To come out, look at these people out here. It's love for the people. If you don't love the people that much, we can't be successful. And we could bring rent down. We could bring rent down. We could bring the price of food down. If we come together, it will never be done by politicians. But I guarantee you, if we come together, we could bring the rent down. How? We build cooperatives. If we living with each other, if we living in our own properties, in our own homes, in our own buildings that we all own, our freaking rent comes down. I mean, but you got to be willing to open your door and talk to your neighbor. I'm not telling you to come to Newark, New Jersey. Open your door, go outside, talk to your neighbor. What's your neighbor going through? What do they need? How can we work together to be able to make sure one of us have a house that we can both live in? Because that's where we're going. They're going to get rid of all of us unless we start, like all the way back in the day, working with each other. I mean, and I'm so happy to have met Jordan, man. Yo, you my #1 news guy right now, man. Word up, you the news guy of the year, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I'm gonna stay in touch with you, man. But like, how long you think you're gonna be out here?
We're out here every day.
Until you don't know until when. So if you want, man, send me a text. I'll bring you some oxtails or something, man. I'll bring you some food. You gotta eat my shit though. Don't make me tell my wife to cook the food.
Oh, no. If your wife makes it, I'll eat it. Don't you worry.
All power to the people.
Thank you, man.
I'll come back through and see you tonight. Every night you out here, I'm coming out.
All right. Thank you. So that's Chairman Africa with the Black Panther Party, the new Black Panther Party of Newark. And I don't even have follow-up questions because I just like hearing him talk, to be honest. I think he says a lot. He just calls out the bullshit of the entire system. And basically points out that essentially to be a politician means to do nothing. Doesn't mean that all politicians are useless, but he's basically saying, what am I going to run for office? You need money to run for office. And to get money, you basically need to sell out. I'm not saying it's all completely useless, but the truth is, throughout history, the real changes come not from politicians, from the people who pressured the politicians. Lyndon B. Johnson didn't sign civil rights because he felt like he wanted equality for black people. He did it because of Martin Luther King Jr. and the civil rights protesters and the people on the bridge in Selma and all of that. The rights for LGBTQ people did not come because of politicians. It became because of Harvey Milk and so many others like him. We could go down the list. The women's movement. indigenous rights, handicap. So extremely, extremely powerful. All right, let me see what's going on before we wrap up. Hold on. I didn't even, that's the best promo we've ever gotten for Status Quo. I didn't even need to do anything. Thank you for those of you who are signing up. I see a couple more that have signed up. Let me shout you out before we go. Thank you. Sue signed up as a member. Jennifer signed up. Taylor, thank you. Candace, Valerie, Aaron, Meredith, Juliana. Is that your daughter, Juliana? Anna, Ellen, Shay, and Eddie. So, listen, who knows where this is going? It's calm tonight. It could act up again this weekend. And I think the important thing to say is we're not going to stop just when the protests stop. There's a tent down there that the FBI and HSI ransacked because a right-wing propagandist went in there and pretended that it was like some Antifa commie headquarters when it wasn't that whatsoever. And it was just a tent with donated diapers. That's the sickness in this country. The lies spread so fucking quickly from charlatans who are probably on the government payroll. Who the fuck knows? But we were there before this hunger strike. And by the way, an hour from now is going to be day 13 of a hunger strike. And I'll tell you, if I don't eat for a day, I'm pretty cranky. 13 days? Not everybody, but there are still people in there in each unit that are abstaining from eating. And all of them are on the labor strike. But we're going to stay on this because, to be honest, this is not just about immigration. Like, the micro, it's about the prisoners in there. But the macro is about a lot more. It's about a lot more than the prisoners in there. Because I promise you, okay, remember, when Barack Obama became president, he did not go after George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, and the rest of those criminals for launching a war based on lies, for torture, for black sites, and all that. He also did not go after the bankers who illegally tanked the global economy. And we could go down the list because there's other presidents that came in and didn't go after their precedent, didn't go after the presidents before them who broke the law. And I think any Democratic candidate who runs for any office, and I'm kind of starting to agree with that one about elections, but putting that aside, it's not like it's a requirement. What is your plan to hold Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, Tom Homan, Kristi Noem, all of them accountable? Because crimes are being committed. But I want to also be clear. I think something he said, you got to realize, voting is not going to stop this because this is the system. I'm not telling you not to vote. You know, obviously, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, right? Don't go skinning a cat. But, the answer to all this, ICE prisons existed before Donald Trump came in office. Obama deported more immigrants than any president before him. Okay? Democrats were committing insider trading, and they're still committing insider trading, just like the Republicans. There's no blue team or red team in America. I keep telling you this. There's only green. The only color that matters is green. So, and I want to be clear about something. You can do whatever the fuck you want. But I'm here to tell you, I've been doing this on the ground for a decade. And I've been a reporter longer than that, but specifically on the ground. And I've covered more protests than just about anyone I know. You could circle the same blocks 25,000 times. You could hold the same signs. You could chant the same shit. And the capitalist class, and now the surveillance state, and the data centers and all that, they'll let you protest. And if you get a little too rowdy, they'll fire grenades at you. Even though these people weren't rowdy. Or tear gas you. But what they cannot stop, they can't force you to buy Amazon. They can't force you to use big banks. They can't force you to go to Walmart. They can't force you to go name your massive corporation. Okay? Yet. They can't force you yet. So, I think what we were talking about is, if anything's going to change, and remember, the UAW strike in 2023, they started talking about lining up all the unions' contracts to end in May of 2028. At a certain point, The only way something serious is going to change, whether it's torturing immigrants or AI replacing us or the planet on fire or big predatory banks screwing you, which is still happening, or tax breaks for all the corporations while your electric bill goes up and all the bills for everybody else goes up. The only way that something's going to change is organizing and some type of economic strike. That's it. All right, folks, I can't really stand anymore. My back's killing me. Thank you to John, who's been out. John's been out basically living in New Jersey for the last 12 days. He slept in his car. He doesn't get enough credit. So thank you to John. Thank you to Colin behind the camera, Jenny, Michelle, whoever's working tonight behind the camera. We'll be out here again tomorrow. We think, interestingly enough, flyers were going around that there was going to be a protest outside the mayor's house tomorrow night. And then all of a sudden the curfew ended. You see how that happens? So there might be a protest outside the mayor's house. I don't know. And yeah, remember, there are still prisoners abstaining. They are still refusing to send prisoners who desperately need to go to the hospital. I spoke to the organizers today. You're talking kidney disease, colon issues, serious mental health issues, people having hallucinations in there, people suffering from diabetes, their blood sugar dropping. Everyone has something in there. I was told that there's some type of stomach bug going around, which kind of happens when you serve people maggots in their food. So it's still a humanitarian crisis in there. And frankly, crimes are going on in there. So we'll stay on it. Thank you for supporting us. Statuscoup.com/join. We'll see you back here tomorrow night.